move, does not run faster. He just keeps walking at a steady, slow pace, blocking the way, not even looking back to see who or what is behind him.
Okay, I'm like streaming now.
Okay.
No matter what kind of rental.
Do you like want to talk about anything, like in particular?
I don't know. I'm really locked in on making this little cutout. Let me show you. It's so fun.
Okay. Let me... Oh, it's so cute. You worked on it
I just
very
got it.
quickly.
I just gotta make him a little base and that should be good. I wish I could cut any closer of the cardboard, but I'm afraid of like cutting him accidentally, so.
Yeah.
Wait, should the base be a coin?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Explain.
Like, to stand him up, I need a circular base at the bottom, or a shape.
Yeah, a coin like suits him. That little gambler.
Yeah, I love that little gambler. Should I put in my headphones to watch my YouTube video so it isn't like playing over the stream?
I don't really mind if it plays over the stream. It's kind of entertaining, I guess.
Okay. I usually watch really long stuff. It's almost over. There's like 10 minutes left.
Ask the man
But it's okay.
for his name.
It depends on you, though.
I'll probably continue.
Fantasio.
I like having people talk. I like having background sound whenever people aren't talking, and I can still listen whenever you are talking.
Yeah, I get it.
Fantasio Valera. Very interesting. Well, the partner is asking generic questions like, what are you doing? Why are you walking? You're walking to the next town.
I have to use the bathroom.
Wait,
Okay.
you got lost? What did you get lost? Detective Mark looks down and sees hard and healing burn all over the left side of his face. His weight is heavily distributed to the left side. He's wearing glasses and suspiciously looks identical to the suspect's photo of Luis Garavito. He was finally arrested. He didn't try to run, he didn't try to fight, but he did insist that he was Bonifacio. Okay? Which was not the smartest thing, because Bonifacio Barrera was a well-known politician from the next town over, and he kept up this whole shtick of being a well-known politician, even though he looked nothing like the well-known politician, and he looked more like Luis Garavito. And he's like, I don't know who that guy is. They brought in Detective Mark. And Detective Mark is kind of like your quintessential detective that you would see in those sleepy small-town murder thriller books. He said that he put his whole life on hold for this case. He sat down in front of Lewis, looked him in the eye, and said, I have followed every footstep. I have seen every single victim. I have breathed every breath that you took for the past 2 years. And now we finally got you and it's over. Lewis calmly asked if he could pray, walked to the corner of the room, and started sobbing while begging for forgiveness. He also confessed to 221. At one point during the confession, he leaned over and vomited in the interrogation trash can. Yeah. He also said in the same breath, as he's confessing to the murders, he said, really my only problem is my leg. My psychic health is very good. I've never had psychic problems. I'm assuming he meant psychiatric. Most of his interrogations, at least the ones that are...
Oh my god. My leg.
Lewis,
I can't
but there are...
move. Oh my god. I couldn't move.
At one point, the investigator asked him why he decapitated the boys, and he said, I don't know, because I made those decisions. Possibly it was because the boys didn't suffer, and they died more smoothly, that's why. He's stating that he was trying to help the boys pass in a softer way. This is the man that disemboweled his victims while they were alive. So he also kept saying, I don't want people to look at me like I'm a monster. I'm a human being. Well, he could live out the rest of his human being life in a Colombian prison then. He was sentenced for 162 murders. The courts counted up all the years that he would get for each individual case, and it came down to 1,853 years and 9 days. To give context, the United States of America has only been around for 247 years. This man is being sentenced to 1,853 years. But Colombia has a max prison sentence. Colombia is one of the countries where they believe that even criminals should have the right to life. Life is sacred, and these criminals deserve to have a light at the end of the tunnel. And to condemn someone to a life behind bars without hope is inhumane. Colombia has something called sentence unification. If you are sentenced to multiple crimes, then you will only serve the term that's the worst, that's the longest. It's basically serving your sentences concurrently rather than consecutively. So we kind of have that in the US. So in Colombia, if you get sentenced to 3 crimes, 2 years for one, 5 years for one, and 6 months for one, instead of spending 7.5 years in prison, you'll just spend 5 years. Because it's your harshest sentence. And just like that, 1,853 years turned into 40 years. 40. 40 for the worst serial killings in history, where he kidnapped hundreds of children, tortured them, dismembered them, disemboweled them, assaulted them, decapitated them, used their bodies for satanic rituals that we don't even know or talk about. 40 years. People were like, okay, let's have some hope, because Colombian prisons are notorious for being harsh. And Lewis was sentenced to the maximum security prison in Colombia, probably one of the worst in the entire country, which apparently the prison itself was inspired by the US penitentiary systems. There's that, but it's really, really bad. People have stated that the first thing you'll notice before you even walk into the prison is the whole smell. I mean, the place stinks of urine and feces to the point where even if you walk in covering your mouth and nose, your eyes start to water because of the stench. There's only running water for about 8 to 15 minutes a day, and only on the first floor. Now, there's no guarantee that you're allowed to go to the first floor when water is running. If you don't have a first floor cell, more likely than not, you get access to no running water. It's really bad. Since there's no running water, there's no toilets. So the prisoners are forced to relieve themselves in plastic bags. I'm talking both types, urine and feces, into plastic bags. But if they leave these plastic bags in their cells, it starts to stink up the entire cell. So they toss the I'm gonna give you this designer bag if you can prove to me that you know your finances. Let's do it. How many subscriptions do you have? Probably just
I don't care how many subscriptions you
it's saying you're plastic bag through the bars of their cell into the communal space beneath. And more often than not, these bags plop and they splatter to the ground. And since water is never on, prisoners basically have water rations. They have water deliveries where the prisoners are forced to line up, shoulder to shoulder. They're stiff, it's tense. They've got empty jugs in one hand, and they've got, the guards will pour their water into the empty jugs. And then in the other hand, they just have like a knife out in the open, an improvised weapon, like a shank that they made.
I don't think I can do a coin because I realize I'm gonna have to tape onto it so that the tape's gonna cover the design. So I'm just gonna have it white, but I'm gonna write his name on the front.
It's really
sadly, but I can make him a little coin thing.
In the maximum security tower where Luis is a prisoner, they're allowed on their cells for 1 hour a day. The conditions in there are so bad that some prisoners have throwing their mouths shut in protest against the hard conditions. Others have made these cocoons out of their bed sheets. They make these hammocks, and I guess the window bars are enough for them to get out of their window. But they can't really escape because I guess there's guards everywhere. It's completely isolated, right? So they make these little hammocks that they tie on the cell window bar. They get out of the building and they're just basically hanging on the side of the building, but 4 stories tall. Now the guards, they don't like it. So they start cutting little incisions into the prisoners' bed sheets so that if they try to do this, their bed sheets will fall apart and they will fall 4 stories, potentially to their death.
Oh.
One volunteer found multiple scaling the inner wall of the jail, climbing from the ground floor to the 5th floor. Someone was pulling down bed sheets so that they could climb up while balancing water jugs around their neck. It's because the top dogs of the 5th floor wanted some water. So the bottom people had to go fetch water. Many of them would slip and fall to their deaths, and the guards would not even look. Ironically, outside the prison, there is a fish pond with a constant stream of running water poured into it. It's interesting. Even visitors were not safe. In the conjugal visit room, which is where prisoners are allowed to spend alone time with partners, it's typically filled with blood and used condom.
Oh.
Colombian, but similar, the drain pipes were clogged. Plumbers came to work on it. They found the remains of 100 people in the drains of the prison. Visitors, nobody was safe. And while he's in here, Lewis, people thought maybe he's gonna get killed in prison. I mean, a lot of people were hopeful that would be the cause because they didn't want him out in 40 years, that's for sure, right? So a lot of people were hopeful, but he was treated. He got his own isolated cell because this is such a high-profile case. The guards were scared murdered, their jobs would be on the line. So he had like his own personal bodyguard the whole time. There were journalists lining up to interview him, and he was like a picky little princess. He would charge a big sum of money to be interviewed, and that's why we don't have a lot of interviews. And most of the time, he would just ramble on about nothing in his interviews. It's very hard to follow. He never provides much new information that can help bring closure to families. He just starts lying in his interviews at one point. He straight up claimed in an interview that he'd never essayed a single victim and that he does not consider himself a...
Yo no violé ninguna víctima, no me considero un violador.
Is that Spanish or something?
He also
No, it's I'm pretty sure it's either Colombian or something.
because it's just not fair. You learn...
I don't know.
My dog's like going crazy right now because my mom's outside and she's not.
This is the thought process. And he's like, I need to be let out of prison because I've got life goals now.
Stop scratching my nose.
What's your life goal? I'm going to be a congressman and I want to fight for the rights of children. I cannot make this up. He also goes on a rant about the most unsavory dictators and mass murderers. They went to his cell and it was decorated with posters of Hitler, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and Princess Diana. It was a very, very strange mix of people. Another interesting thing to note, one journalist who interviewed Lewis directly in jail said, there was something about his eyes where I felt like they were... It was terrifying. But it gets worse. Multiple sentence reductions. The largest took off almost half of his sentence because he did a work-study program in jail. Yeah, with that reduction amongst others, Lewis's sentence was now 22 years, and he was scheduled to get out of prison in 2023. Luis was up for release in 2023, and everyone was terrified, except for a Facebook group where he had 170 fans that just loved him. Loved him. Could not wait for him to be free. Eventually, October 12th, 2020.
That's disgusting. Who would like want somebody like that
There's
out
some,
of prison?
there's like some people who romanticize killers.
Which a lot of people believe. Because
I don't know if you heard of the case, but it was a case of some guy who was cheating.
No, know exactly what you're talking about.
leukemia and I
There was a guy who cheated like on his girlfriend, right? And
Yeah.
whenever one of the girlfriends found out, he ran over on her head.
Coming out and writing letters to officials, to the president, and everyone was everything in their power to make sure that this
I
not get
remember at that time he was getting so many fan edits, like
official. But a lot of other sources said
it's like embarrassing.
he's okay in prison, and he knows the minute that he steps out, he's dead on sight. Like, who's gonna fight him? Who's like, he has no power. He's not Pablo Escobar. Like, where's he gonna go? You know? So, I don't know. I don't know if it was foul play. The official statement is leukemia and eye cancer. But I don't know if it can even be considered karma because he took so many lives. I don't know. I mean, this is just one of those cases where I keep thinking about the ripple effect. It's not just the 400 kids. Already in itself is an number, but it's their parents, their siblings, their friends, relatives that are all traumatized and impacted. And there are still rooms full of boxes of bones of children who are yet to be identified. But I guess it's better dead than for someone. Like, at least scare me too. What are your thoughts on this? Did you guys know about the story of the Beast of Colombia and how he was set to be released this year? Please stay safe, and I will see you guys on Sunday for the episode.
God, I hate Ben so much.
Finish film.
You wanna watch another video?
Yes.
Alright. College Girl Myrtle by Special Ops for being an international spy.
Pitch blackout. 21-year-old Zoe could hear leaves rustling. The anxiety is starting to kick in. I mean, what is she doing here in the dark at the bottom of this mountain in the middle of the night? The whole situation is pretty off-putting. If a few years ago you had asked Lily where she saw herself when she's 21 years old, she would have confidently told you, oh yeah, I'm going to be a flight attendant on Singapore Airlines. But instead, she is staring into the dark abyss of this mountain in front of her. waiting for a beam of light. She's very confused. The directions, they were somewhat simple, I should say. Follow the light. The light is going to guide her to where she needs to go on the mountain. She realized she should have asked a few follow-up questions. What kind of light? Is it a flashlight? Is it a beam of light? Is it a ray of light? Is there a candle? It was unclear. But then she saw it. The light. It looked like more of a commercial flashlight, so maybe one that would require 2 hands to hold, and it was illuminating a path for her. So it was shining on one part of the mountain where she's standing, and it was moving her upward, kind of like a trail. So someone at the top of the mountain is shining down where she needs to walk up.
Is it a flashlight? Like a giant flashlight?
Like a giant flashlight, but it's not strong enough that it's illuminating the whole mountain and she can start seeing around. It's actually just bright enough for her to follow and just bright enough for her to see that in front of her is a step that she can take.
Someone's controlling a giant flashlight and she's following that
I
flashlight.
finished it. You want to see?
It's very
Yes.
once you get to the top.
Let me see quickly.
One was a police
Oh,
officer.
that's so cute.
The other-
And then just this chance on it. The thing balancing him out is this.
in the China.
Boy,
He's leaning
you're
forward
so
slightly,
cute.
but it's okay.
This goggle.
Thank you. And then he's going right there.
The 2 men, the police
Do you
officer
want to
and
put your grativator now, or do you want to
the
work?
woman with their bare hands and bare on
I'm gonna
the.
make more stuff.
They also plan to record the
sorry.
entire.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I wanted to try making like a handmade shaker
I'm
keychain.
going to watch his girlfriend.
You know what I mean?
Murder
Mm,
in.
no, not really.
Like keychains that like have little charms in them and you can shake it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get to the bathroom real quickly, so I'm gonna hang up just because I have trust issues with calls, even if I'm muted. See you in like a minute or 2.
Okay, take your time.
I'm back. I'm just getting water.
Welcome back. Oh my God.
I can't hear you. God. I can. Look, I can hear you. Oh, my dog. Anyhow. You good?
Yeah. Just.
Sorry if I'm being boring.
No, it's okay. I'm just like feeling like tired or something. But it's okay because I always feel like that. And like
You get that.
I'd like to thank today's sponsor.
Whenever you get too tired, just let me know. And we can leave.
PUBG.
That is. So there's no monitors, no
See, we don't.
birds.
It does seem like there are records, but I think that they thought that they could use code names that made it seem like they were talking about the game and shooting people in the game, but they're actually plotting a real life murder. Yeah. Now, Lily, she called her mom every single night before she went to bed. At this point, it had become more of a habit than anything. So between the two, whoever was going to fall asleep first, because they live an hour away from each other, the first person to go to bed would be the one to call and say goodnight. That night, July 9th of 2020, there was no phone call. This is what Ivy League University.
I don't care about Ivy League universities. I don't need to start looking for colleges yet.
Lily was not calling. This was rare, but it's not inherently the most alarming thing. Lily's 21. She's got her own life. She has her own apartment with her boyfriend. She just graduated college. She's got a part-time job. It's not going to be something that Lily's mom is like, I need to immediately call 911. But July 12th, 2020, 3 days after the initial missed call, there is still no word from Lily. So Lily's parents decide, we gotta go to her apartment in Nanjing, an hour away, to figure out what the hell is going on. Hong is Lily's boyfriend. He lives in the apartment in Nanjing with her. And he's also getting involved with the search for Lily because he's like, I have not seen her in 3 days. She hasn't been home. So him and the parents, they very closely together to try and figure out where Lily possibly be. Side note, a lot of people who knew Lily remember the way that Lily and Hong met. It's kind of straight out of a novel. So Lily was on the train. I think this just shows you like the kind of relationship that they. She was on the subway when this creepy guy starts getting closer and closer and closer to her physically. And he just kept saying that he was...
My brother asked me what I want for dinner. What do I want for dinner?
Not in the way.
I don't know, what do you want for dinner?
It's very foreigner looking for a Chinese comfort type of vibe. Just very off-putting. She's kind of pulling away from him. She's clearly, visibly uncomfortable. It's written on her face, her body language. The man is not getting the message. She's trying every excuse to get away from him, but he's just getting closer.
I want some sort of chicken, so I just said that. I'm probably going to get a recommendation.
She's just getting squished in between these people, and that's when she hears a man behind them. Where have you been? I've been looking for you. Straight out of a romance movie. She had never seen this man before, but he is saving her, giving her an out of this uncomfortable situation. So they act like they know each other. They start chit-chatting. The foreign man pulls away, walks away. Once the two get out of the way, she thanks the stranger for helping. And, because this is the type of meeting that doesn't really happen. Maybe it means something. Both of them felt like we might regret it if we don't get each other's contact. So they exchange WeChats. And from there, they start officially dating December of 2019. They start moving fast. Hong meets Lily's parents, which is a very big deal in China, especially for people that abide more by the tradition. So traditionally, it signals to parents, hey, we're looking to get married. This is a very formal meeting. That's kind of the setting that Lily had brought Hong into.
My brother's laughing at me because I decided not to go to this party, but I decided not to go so I could call you.
2020, just 6 months later, Lily was missing. Initially, Lily's parents were...
Plus, I don't really want to do any social interaction right now.
He said, it's my fault that she's missing. I didn't want to bring it up, and I thought that she would cool down and come back, but they had gotten into a fight on the night of the 8th. She walked out morning of the 9th with all of their cash, like $7,000 in cash that they had in the nightstand drawer. She had taken it, left, and initially he thought, she's going to take some time to cool. Maybe she's using this as a way to get me worried or stressed because she's out of the house, she's not contacting me. He thought for sure that she's at least talking to her friends and her parents, right? It's just him that he's icing out. But the minute that the parents show up, he's kind of freaked out. He's like, okay, this is getting weird. Initially, I thought it's fine. I even saw her little red notebook account, which is like the Chinese Pinterest. She had hearted a few cafes and restaurants near a different province, Renan province, so I assumed that she had friends there or someone she was visiting. But now that you're saying, as parents, you haven't been in contact with her, now it's weird. Now too much time has passed, and this is just not like her. There would be no reason for her to go radio silent on everyone. So together, they keep calling Lily, but her phone isn't even ringing at this point. It's dead. It's turned off. They tried to hack into her Apple iCloud to see if they could use the Find My iPhone feature. None of them knew her password, nor could they guess it correctly. Lily had just vanished. Just gone. After a few more days of waiting and a filed police report later, everyone agrees it just doesn't make sense for Lily to run off after a fight. Something must have happened to her. So, of course, the next immediate theory was it had something to do with Hong being
thingy shaped into like a...
Side note, this guy is not just
gambling.
He was in the People's Army of China for special operations.
All right.
He was part of the special forces.
Oh my
So-
god, I didn't see Ben.
Of course, the family is thinking, maybe target attack for Hong.